Traditionally, an honorific bust would be a memorial to someone, making them more handsome, more noble, to idealize them in some way. You want to remember someone even better than they were. Here you see somebody that you can feel a warmth, somebody who can reach out to the public, shaking hands and walking through a crowd with this big smile on his face. It's a very alive sense of who this man was as a living human being. George Moscone was mayor of San Francisco, and in 1978 had been assassinated in City Hall, along with Supervisor Harvey Milk. And it was an extraordinary, painful, difficult, divisive event in the life of the city. Subsequently, a new convention center was being built, and it was dedicated to George Moscone. And so the City Arts Commission decided they wanted to commission a memorial bust to place in the convention center. Robert Arneson was asked. He's known as a portrait artist, very well known for his self-portraits, but other portraits as well. And he won the commission. He did a drawing for it, which was of the smiling politician George Moscone, but he had left the pedestal blank in the drawing that he had submitted. But in working on this, he began to feel the need to bring in the events that anchored Moscone to his life, his biography, and not shrinking back from depicting the events of his assassination.
As president of the Board of Supervisors, it's my duty to make this announcement. Both Mayor Moscone and Supervisor Harvey Milk have been shot and killed. The suspect is Supervisor Dan White.
This was still raw, painful for the city, for the family, and so many people objected to it. It was decided that this had to be pulled out of the convention center. It was immediately draped and taken away. Arneson refused to alter the base. He was asked by the Arts Commission. He felt this was integral to his conception of the portrait, the depiction of Moscone and the full events of the time. So he reimbursed the city for the commission that he'd been paid to execute this work, and he then took possession of it. SFMOMA has one of the great collections of the work of Robert Arneson, and it's a collection we want to continue to deepen and strengthen. And this is one of the most iconic, important works that Arneson ever made. It was a kind of orphaned work. Over the years, there have been many people that felt like this was a work that had to be in San Francisco. It had to return here. So we got a phone call, said this might be possible. We began negotiations. We were in the very fortunate position that one of our trustees in the past, a wonderful woman named Phyllis Wattis, left a very large endowment to this museum to acquire major works. Mrs. Wattis would always say, is it worth a detour? A reason to come to the museum. And I absolutely believe that it is, and I know our director, Neil Benezra, and the rest of the curators felt exactly the same way.